Penonton setia Gudut Mistis, selamat datang lagi, dan kali ini kita agak berbeda ya. Horor kali ini bukan tentang hantu ya, karena horor sesungguhnya itu sebenarnya manusia, teman-teman ya. Jadi atau sesuatu yang tidak bisa dijelaskan, bukan hantu, bukan manusia, tapi ya pokoknya sesuatu yang mengerikan aja. Dan kali ini saya ngambil dari ini kanal bernama Fear Fuels ya. Kalian yang mau nge-sub dia, langsung subscribe aja, cari aja Fear Fuels. Nanti di sana banyak sekali konten-konten menarik tentang horor, ada yang hantu, ada yang bukan gitu ya. Pokoknya jangan lupa follow dia juga ya. Dan tentu saja follow saya gitu ya, subscribe saya, ditinggalkan like, kasih komentar juga. Oke? Tanpa lama-lama langsung kita menuju salah satu videonya tentang namanya disturbing camping encounter. Jadi kejadian yang tidak nyaman saat melakukan camping. Nah, gitu. Bentar, ini lampunya terlalu terang, tak redupin sebentar ya. Oke, langsung aja kita ke videonya. Perhatikan.
Bugs is a photographer and explorer based out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. He documents the kind of places most people drive past without a second thought. Hidden tunnels, forgotten roads, and ghost towns scattered across the New Mexico desert. He just goes to interesting places and films what he finds. On the night of November 26th, 2024, Bugs made his way out to Yeso, New Mexico, a ghost town sitting quietly off a desert highway.
Oke, buat yang belum paham ya, tapi kalau kalian udah paham bahasa Inggris mah silahkan ya. Hari gini setidaknya paham dikit lah bahasa Inggris. Jadi ini bernama siapa tadi? Itu dia mau camping di sebuah kota yang disebut sebagai kota hantu. Nah, biasanya kota hantu itu disebut sebagai kota hantu karena lama ditinggalkan atau punya sejarah yang kelam. Jadi banyak alasan, tapi yang jelas sudah pasti ditinggalkan. Nah, kotanya sudah jalannya hilang, bangunan-bangunannya hancur gitu ya, dan masih ada beberapa bangunan yang berdiri dalam keadaan yang rusak, penuh vandalisme dan segala macam. Oke, lanjut ya.
After spending the evening exploring the abandoned buildings, he parked his RV van right in the middle of town and called it a night. Everything was quiet, but out in the middle of nowhere, quiet doesn't always stay that way. Somewhere in the middle of the night, Bugs woke up.
Something woke me up. I think, sounded like footsteps. I'm not sure if that's what woke me up. I put on my pants and my shoes, just for in case. I was asleep. I got all my windows closed.
Oke, ada detail yang seharusnya kayaknya nggak perlu dia jelaskan juga. Saya pakai celana saya dan sepatu saya jaga-jaga kalau ketiduran. Itu nggak penting sebenarnya, tapi ya mungkin maksud dia untuk mencairkan suasana karena situasinya lagi nggak nyaman di sana gitu. Lanjut ya.
This light here, but I don't know if they can see it. But I suddenly heard footsteps. Something woke me up. I'm not sure what it was. Oh, fuck. Just for in case.
Oh. Ini saya sensor ya. Ini karena kebijakan YouTube akhir-akhir ini agak sensitif. Jadi kalau saya menemukan sesuatu yang nggak bisa membahayakan, entah membahayakan visual dan membahayakan saya sendiri sebagai kreator, saya blur. Oke?
Oh shit, I heard the footsteps again. Looks like they went to the back. What the fuck? Okay. Somebody's definitely outside. I don't think I'm gonna stay here. Honestly, I end up shooting somebody. Fuck. Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? There's somebody inside. of a bitch. I don't even know if I want to go outside. Who is it? Fuck.
Ya, situasi kayak gini memang sangat mengerikan teman-teman. Saya sendiri pernah camping dan kalau mendengar sesuatu di luar tenda, dan ini kebetulan RV ya, jadi camper van gitu, sehingga untuk soal keamanan lebih aman karena kan dia dilapisi metal gitu kan. Dan memang mengerikan ketika ada sesuatu di luar tenda kita atau tempat berlindung kita, itu kadang bikin kita deg-degan. Jadi wajar kalau dia tadi mengeluarkan ini penembak peluru gitu ya, bedil. Nah, karena situasinya memang nggak baik. Kita nggak tahu siapa di luar kan.
Fuck it. I'm coming outside, man. Just so you know, I'm armed. I'm opening the door. Who's there? I don't see anybody. Fuck. What the fuck? Anybody there? Why the fuck is nobody out here? Hello? Maybe they went inside that schoolhouse. Okay. It's time for me to go. The sound was coming from this side, from the driver's side.
Seperti inilah yang mengerikan teman-teman. Kita nggak tahu tadi yang ketok-ketok mobil itu beneran manusia bukan gitu ya. Dan bisa jadi psikopat ya teman-teman, dan memang itu kejadian sangat mengerikan. Kita nggak tahu, makanya dia tadi keluar dengan memberi peringatan dia bersenjata, karena bisa jadi di luar sana nanti ada psikopat kayak di film-film bawa parang segala macam gitu ya. Tiba-tiba ayo selesai gitu kan. Tapi memang situasinya mengerikan. Menurut kalian ini hantu apa orang teman-teman? Komen ya.
Okay, I think I'm gonna head to Vaughn.
That was enough. Bugs got back in the van, started the engine, and drove out of Yeso toward the nearby town of Vaughan. So what was it? A person? Possibly. Ghost towns aren't always as empty as they look. There were a handful of houses on the outskirts of Yeso, and someone could have wandered over out of curiosity, or with something worse in mind. But then again, footsteps circling a van in the dead of night, in a town with no one around, and then vanishing completely the second someone comes outside to look? I honestly don't know what to think. Now, faking something like this isn't exactly difficult. But scroll through Bug's channel and you'll find e-bike rides through Albuquerque. There's no reason for him to fake it. And that's what makes it hard to shake. In the end, I'll let you decide what you think it was. Vanessa is one of those creators who genuinely belongs in the wild. Her YouTube channel is built around a deep love for nature, forest exploration, camp.
Ya, saya blur teman-teman. Dan kali ini yang bernama Vanessa, dia seorang bushcrafter gitu ya, apa istilahnya, tukang camping yang bikin sesuatu di luar gitu ya. Dan dia solo camping di hutan gitu. Ini bakal mengerikan teman-teman, ditambah lagi dia perempuan gitu ya, kejadiannya bisa sangat mengerikan gitu ya. Kita simak dulu.
camping and long-term bushcraft projects that most people wouldn't even attempt. One of Vanessa's signature things is building wilderness shelters, long multi-day projects that require her to leave the site and return later to continue. This time, she was heading back to one of her unfinished projects, a shelter she'd already put serious time into.
My plan was today to bring you with me in the forest to my forest camp because I had some projects planned that I want to finish today, and you would be able to accompany me. So I switch now to the start of the video because my camp was completely destroyed from someone.
When Vanessa arrived at her camp, everything was destroyed. And what she was about to find in the wreckage wasn't just vandalism. It was a message, a very deliberate one.
So there is a notification with my name on it. Mrs. Blank, learned nothing, short trousers, and then something I can't read. I'm not sure what really stand there. I wanna piss at you or I wanna visit you.
Oke, jadi buat yang nggak paham, kalau yang udah paham boleh skip ini penjelasan saya. Kalau yang nggak paham, jadi si Vanessa ini dia sudah ada project sebelumnya karena dia membangun sebuah hut. Hut itu sebuah kabin-kabinan yang dibuat dari ranting-ranting pohon, dahan-dahan pohon, kemudian nanti ditutup pakai lumut dan segala macamnya biar tumbuh secara alami gitu. Nah, jadi waktu dia mau melanjutkan project itu, video dia yang belum selesai, dia menemukan bahwa kabin yang dia bangun dirobohkan oleh seseorang dan ada tulisannya. Anehnya adalah di tulisan yang di kertas yang dibaca sama si Vanessa itu, dia tahu namanya. Nah, inilah yang serem teman-teman ya. Dari mana, siapa. Karena yang mengerikan itu bukan hantu, tapi manusia. Lanjut ya.
You. It's such a ugly writing, I'm not sure if I read everything. So you was not there, what a pity. Your camp is not damaged and it's your fault, we see us. So it was something that know me, that know my camp and just want to destroy it.
Wah, ini bikin kaget ya. Tak pikir apa, coba mundur lagi. Tuh, lihat sini ya, tiba-tiba ada penampakan.
My camp and just want to destroy it because it's mine.
Whoever
Ya kirain itu apa gitu kan, ternyata Vanessa bawa anjing. Tapi bagus dia bawa anjing. Karena itu jadi salah satu penjaga yang bagus, ditambah lagi anjing dia herder gitu ya, besar. Oke.
Whoever wrote this note had genuinely terrible handwriting, like threatening someone is already bad enough. But at least be legible about it. If you're going to leave a menacing message in the middle of the forest, maybe practice your penmanship first. Just a thought. But jokes aside, the content of that note was deeply unsettling. The message essentially said, "Too bad you weren't here. Your shelter is destroyed and that's your fault. We'll meet again." Written by someone who clearly knew her name, knew where she built her shelters, and had been watching closely enough to know when she wasn't there. Vanessa decided to take the note home as evidence. Smart move. But as she was gathering it up, she found something else tucked inside.
So there is a photo from me. It's the same.
Wow. Jadi sempat difoto sih Vanessa sama pelakunya ya. Dan dari jarak fotonya sedekat ini teman-teman. Oke, kalau soal foto ada namanya trail cam alias foto untuk ini wildlife alias dunia liar gitu ya. Tahu kan foto kamera yang diikat di pohon terus kita tinggal, nanti ketika ada binatang otomatis cekrek gitu. Nah, itu bisa jadi pakai kamera itu. Dan biasanya kameranya kamuflase ya, nggak ada yang nyadar, sehingga Vanessa pun bisa jadi nggak nyadar. Tapi kalau ini difoto secara langsung, artinya orangnya sedekat itu dan Vanessa nggak nyadar itu. Untung saat itu dia selamat ya.
Backpack that I carry today, and it's very damaged. So I'm not sure if it's a wildlife track photo or not, because there is the date on it. But when it's not a wildlife camera photo, that means that this person was in my closer area.
Ya, yang dia analisis sama kayak yang saya analisis ya. Jadi memang semengerikan itu kalau misalnya ada orang sedekat itu dan kita nggak tahu. Kayak film-film psikopat teman-teman. Nanti tahu-tahu di belakang kita, halo gitu kan. Bahaya itu.
And take a photo from me, walk behind me, wants to check where I am, what I do, or I have no idea how they could other ways find out at which day I am in the forest because I have no special day.
A photo of her in the woods, wearing the same backpack she had on that very day. Someone was physically close enough to take that picture, and she had no idea. And that's when the past came rushing back.
I had it all in the past. I had a stalker that write me letters at my private address, which is something that nobody knows, which knows who I am, which knows the places where I was bushcrafting, and take photos of them and send it to me. Look, I found your new camp, and I had this all in the past, everything, and I fought against it in the past, and I don't want to have this shit now again.
Oh, jadi dia dulu pernah kejadian ada stalker yang mengikuti dia, bahkan bisa tahu dia tinggal di mana, nama dia membuat bushcraft di mana, tahu alamatnya sampai kirim surat gitu ya. Dan dia pernah mengalami itu, makanya kalau terjadi kayak gini otomatis dia panik gitu ya. Ya itu sangat wajar.
She'd been through this before. A stalker who found her private address, tracked her camping locations, and sent photos of her shelters. And now all the signs were pointing to the same thing. Except this time it was worse. The previous stalker sent photos after her trips. This one was there during. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, maybe it was just a random person who stumbled across the shelter and left a weird note. Maybe. But a photo with her name on it, that's not a coincidence. That's surveillance. And here's the part that genuinely gives me chills. Vanessa often films alone in the forest. She swims, she camps, and sometimes, as her videos show, she does these things without clothes, in places she believed no one else knew about. With a photo like this now in her hands, the question of what else this person may have seen and for how long they've been watching is one that's very hard to shake. She mentioned at the end of the video that she always carries protection when she's out there, which, honestly, good, because this situation is exactly why. Most people who have a terrifying experience in the wilderness do one thing.
Oke, jadi pelajaran dari Vanessa kalau kalian sendiri di alam gitu, jangan lupa bahwa perlindungan diri apapun bentuknya. Berhubung senjata api itu dilarang di Indonesia, ya yang diperlukan dan setidaknya bisa melindungi diri kita. Tapi jangan dipakai dengan sengaja ya, hanya untuk pertahanan diri dan disertakan bukti, wajib.
They go home, lock the door, and never go back. But what if someone told you that what you saw wasn't even the worst of it? Well, that's exactly what happened to Voyager Overland, a channel dedicated to overlanding and remote wilderness, camping across the Canadian backcountry. It's the kind of channel that makes you want to quit your job and disappear into the wilderness. But you might actually remember Voyager Overland from a video we did a few months ago. It was a family camping trip to Ruby Falls that took a wrong turn when their trail camera picked up something that none of them could explain. If you haven't seen that one yet, I'd highly recommend watching it, because instead of staying away, they...
Ini kayaknya video lama, pernah dibahas di kanal-kanal horor sebelumnya. Dari tadi yang ini nih, di sini ya. Ini cuma sepotong, dia belum menunjukin ini. Nanti ada kegiatan manusia transparan di sini.
Seen that one yet, I'd highly recommend watching it, because instead of staying away, they went back. Deeper this time.
So I'm filling up at the gas station last winter, and this guy comes up to me and he says, "You're Voyager Overland, aren't you?" And he tells me, "Hey, I saw your video last fall, and I recognize where you were. And I read the comments as well," he says. "People are saying it's Bigfoot or Sasquatch or somebody looking to steal your stuff or the military with special suits and whatever." Well, he tells me that him and his dad used to hunt in that area, and he knows exactly where we were, and he saw exactly what we saw. And he says, if you want, I'll give you directions if you want to go see something even more spooky. So I bought him a coffee and he drew me a map, gave me some general directions, and that's where Gina and I are going this weekend. And he kind of cautioned me. He said, if you get there at the right time, you're going to see what you saw in your video, what you captured on camera, and you're probably going to see a lot more.
And that, apparently, was enough. They packed...
Oke, jadi kali ini adalah kejadian setelahnya. Kalau kalian pernah lihat video itu tadi, jadi ceritanya ada manusia transparan yang berjalan-jalan di sekitar dia berkemah di dalam mobilnya di tengah hutan gitu ya, dan ada seseorang yang tahu melihat video itu dan dia sering berburu di daerah situ. Dia juga pernah mengalami hal itu, makanya dia mengabari si Voyager ini, datanglah ke sini, kalau kamu datang di saat yang tepat, kamu akan melihat hal itu lagi. Oke, kita lanjut ya. Ini seru nih teman-teman.
Packed their gear, loaded up the Jeep, and headed out. The drive-in didn't exactly go smoothly. The gate to the main road was closed, something that, according to Voyager Overland, had never happened before. So instead of a straightforward route, they were now looking at a 2-hour detour. And after all that river crossings and narrow, muddy trails, they eventually made it to camp.
So that detour set us back a little bit. It was about a 2-hour detour in the dark, kind of interesting. And we pull into camp and oh my God, is it dark.
Oke, bla 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 bla. Saya skip aja ya. Kalian kalau mau nonton aslinya langsung aja masuk ke channel Fear Fuel. Oke.
Distance paid off.
Oh, hold on, here it is. Oh, that is so cool. Well, that took some effort to find, but oh wow, this is so cool. You can tell the outline of what used to be a cabin, and check out this standing chimney. Wow. This is so cool. Check out what's left of it.
It's all just slabs of rock.
And to think, who knows, this has been here like, well, if he was saying the 50s, like 75, 100 years, who knows? That is so cool. So you can clearly see the outline of what was a large cabin, and boy, there's not much left. This is pretty remote. Just to frame our location a little bit, we are about 10 to 12 kilometers from the nearest road, over a mountain range and into the next valley. Not much for a view. I mean, we're kind of thick in the bush here, but this is a really remote spot.
As a light rain began to fall, they set up for their second night, camping next to the ruins. The creator noted how the silence was different here, almost eerie quiet, with no birds or other sounds of wildlife. They set up the trail camera facing the chimney and went to bed. And this is what it captured. Now I have a lot of thoughts about what you just saw.
Oke, itu hasil trail cam ya teman-teman ya. Dan jadi kayak ada arwah, kalau sesuai ceritanya tadi tuh, jadi ada seseorang yang mencari saudaranya di sana dan dia terjebak di hutan ini, nggak pernah bisa keluar, akhirnya mungkin mati gitu ya. Dan ini adalah gambaran arwahnya yang sedang berkegiatan dulunya di kabin yang sekarang sudah tinggal cerobong asap doang ini. Dan coba lihat deh kegiatannya. Wow.
And this is what it captured. Now I
Oke, ini memang sesuatu penampakan yang berbeda ya teman-teman ya. Nggak kayak biasanya dari penampakan hantu yang biasa kita lihat gitu ya. Yang kadang gimana, apalagi hantu Indonesia. Ya, ini benar-benar seperti dia punya dunianya sendiri, tidak peduli di sekitarnya ada siapa, ada apa. Gambaran arwahnya itu tetap punya kegiatan yang sepertinya terus berulang gitu ya. Jadi kayak ada dia terjebak dalam waktu gitu. Kalau saya pernah baca ada teori tentang sebuah entitas yang terjebak dalam waktu pengulangan gitu, karena ada sesuatu yang tidak tuntas sehingga dia hanya kembali ke awal cerita sampai ending, kembali lagi, dan begitu seterusnya gitu. Ada teori seperti itu. Dan bisa jadi ini merupakan hal yang seperti itu juga ya. Oke, kita lanjutkan ya. Menarik ini.
have a lot of thoughts about what you just saw. But let's hold that for a moment, because what happened the very next morning is going to make this a whole lot more interesting.
So this morning we're gonna make some coffee. We're gonna pull the card out of the camera. Jean's gonna grab her laptop and we're gonna see what we caught.
What's that smoke?
What smoke?
At the fireplace.
What? What the frick? What the hell is that? Where's that smoke coming from? It's coming from inside. There's nothing in here. There's nothing in here.
Oke, ini mematahkan ini ya. Tidak ada asap apa? Ada api, ada asap, atau ada asap, ada api gitu ya. Ini mematahkan teori itu, teman-teman. Dari mana asapnya berasal? Tebel banget dan sangat nyata ya. Edan ini.
I heard something. Did you hear that?
Freaking sounded like a moose or some of that, but
It was loud.
like bigger and not like a moose.
It even smells like wood smoke. But where the hell is it coming from? What? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
The frick was that? Hey! Hello?
I'm out of here. I don't like this.
No, it's time to pack up and get the hell out of here. Did I leave that? I did leave that.
They packed up fast and left. No second thoughts, just gone. And look, I'll be straight with you. Smoke coming from an old stone chimney doesn't mean supernatural is going on, because natural explanations for that are possible, and the sounds could have been a predator whose calls can be distorted by the terrain. But then again, looking back at trail cam footage, there is silhouette, someone or something hovering.
Oke, ini hubungannya dari kejadian yang trail cam sama yang pagi-pagi ya. semuanya berhubungan dengan cerobong asap itu, teman-teman. Asap setebal itu tanpa ada api. Bahkan tadi sempat dicium-cium aromanya bau bakaran kayu. Mungkin dia nggak ngomong suhunya ya, tadi udah dipegang-pegang itu. Biasanya dengan asap setebal itu artinya dekat dengan sumber apinya. Biasanya panas, tapi dia nggak ngomong. Wow.
Around the chimney. If there's a natural explanation for the smoke, that's fine. But it's a
Menurut kalian apa, teman-teman? Kalau kalian punya teori sendiri, tolong jelaskan. Karena ini memang sesuatu yang unik dan baru pertama saya lihat juga ya. Wow. Oke, kita lanjutkan aja.
a little hard to ignore that something was standing right there. Took him the whole night. But the smoke was there in the morning. Honestly, for a ghost, the fire starting skills could use some work. And then there's the second figure, sitting in what appears to be a rocking chair. And when they walked through those ruins in daylight, there was no chair. Apparently, wherever this one goes, it brings its own seating. So, could there be rational explanations? Sure, there are plenty of reasons for smoke to appear, and yeah, infrared lenses do strange things in the dark.
Oke, cerita yang ketiga itu tentang seseorang di camping dan ada kejadian yang berhubungan dengan manusia ya. Dan itu tadi hasil reaksi saya dari kejadian-kejadian yang menurut saya ini sangat membagongkan, teman-teman ya. Terutama ketika kita sendirian di hutan tadi kayak Vanessa gitu tadi, dan ada stalker yang mengikuti kita, itu sangat berbahaya. Dan itu manusia gitu loh. Dan kalau soal yang hantu, manusia bayangan, dan tiba-tiba ada asap, itu menurut saya sebuah fenomena alam yang sangat menarik dan mungkin pantas untuk diteliti juga gitu ya. Tapi bisa jadi hoax juga, bisa terjadi loh ya. Saya nggak serta-merta bilang itu asli atau memang settingan atau memang gimana, nggak, terserah. Pokoknya yang jelas kalau memang ada kejadian seperti itu sesuatu yang wow sekali. Dan bagaimana menurut kalian, tuliskan saja di kolom komentar bagian mana yang kalian suka dan bisa kalian analisis, langsung saja ditulis. Jangan lupa like dan subscribe, share, dan segala macam kebutuhan YouTube ya. Sampai jumpa di video berikutnya. Dadah.